Hello everybody, welcome. Sneaky Chiefy here, bringing you another TAW video. This one is a tournament that Mr. Monty in blue is playing. It's called Hera's Colosseum. It's kind of modeled after Hidden Cup. So I'm thinking all the maps as you see here are going to say HC4, which is Hidden Cup 4. And this one is Arabia. So it's a one-on-one tournament, just like Hidden Cup. Some of the maps are different, and then the finals of the Hidden Cup are going to be Hidden Identities, which I'm thinking will be the same for this tournament as well. But I think Mr. Monty is the TAW member playing, and he's in the group stages right now, so not quite in the final section. Mr. Monty is playing, as I said, in blue. He's playing as the Lithuanians, and he's up against Alonko, who's a 1600 rated single player, very skilled player in red, playing as the Burmese. And other than that, it's Hidden Cup Arabia matches are basically the same as Arabia, but they've made sure that the boar are behind the TC, that there's less chances of laming, though it's always a possibility. Other than that, I don't think Arabia has changed all that much from a standard map generation. Nothing too wonky going on there, but we might see some interesting maps come out later in the rounds. And I think it's best of 3 matchups here, so they could play up to 3 matches. First 2-2 between these 2 players will move on. So Mr. Monty is pretty good about collecting relics, and as the Lithuanians, I'd expect he will do just that here shortly, and he'll probably go knights. Take a look at what he's scouted out. Still looking for those other sheep. Just missing them too. There he goes. And the Burmese player, he'll probably go for castle, fast castle into Arambai. Could be a good counter for Cav Civ like the Lithuanians. Looks like he's pushing in his deer already. So we'll be going for that fast castle. Pulling his first boar in as well. Oh, careful, Red. Oh, almost. I got my laser arrows going on. I love that that particular mod. Laser beam arrows are a lot of fun. I wish they came with the pew 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 sound effects as well, but no luck. Well, Monty continues to scout out the terrain. Looks like he's found all his sheep. Just doing the typical spiral pattern. Getting the lay of the land. Scouting, obviously very important in this game. You're going to know where all your gold resources are, for example. Plan your expansion for the late game. But I'm thinking Mr. Monty will start, yeah, he's starting his arc out in a wider circle. And start to look for the enemy. Looking at map gen, the enemy's berry is kind of exposed, so that could be challenging for a drush. And more importantly, his main gold is very exposed out here, so that could be tricky for him. He's got a nice pocket of stone in the back. And over on Mr. Monty's side, very similar situation. The berries are safer, but his main gold is quite exposed out there on the right. Though he does have options in the back that he could default to, which is not quite the case for his opponent in red. Population pretty similar as Mr. Monty starts to scout things out here. Scout battle. 50-50. Villagers coming in to make it. Oh, he has to pull away. I think Mr. Monty would have lost that one anyway. Oh, yeah, now he's going to have to back away completely. Well, he knows where red is now. Population about even, 18 to 19. Not much idle TC time at all, just 3 seconds for the Burmese player. About a minute worth of idle eco for both players. I think they'll both be pretty happy with their build at this point. Doesn't look like Mr. Monty did not see that barrack going up, but he might see that now. I'd imagine he anticipates a drush. It seems to be the meta these days. Avoids the TC fire there. And walls are starting to go down from Alonko. He's already getting some gold. So, again, I don't think Mr. Monty saw this, but probably anticipating it. Dropping a barracks of his own. Not putting up any walls yet. And red might not even fully wall, but this is a good idea to wall here to protect this gold. Here's blue. Mr. Monty dropping in his own walls. Looks like he'll go for a full surround. And spread out to 2 wood lines. Not the same 4 on wood. Yeah, Alonko's definitely going for a fast castle at this point. Look how many are on food still. And Monty scouting that out, seeing how few there are on wood, or at least on this one lumber camp. Here comes the drush. Mr. Monty already in feudal age though, so a little late on that drush, I'd say. Stable coming out would be scouts. Let's take a look at what Alonko can see. He sees the barracks, now he sees the stable. He'll look to be disruptive here and mess things up. Mr. Monty going for a quick wall. Gets it off. But there'll be ways in on the far side. And red fully walled off back at home as well. And dropping an archery range. Okay. Now Mr. Monty is going to have to quick wall as best he can, dropping an archery range of his own, bringing villagers in, quick walling those wood lines, good work there as the men-at-arms comes in, but he's got to watch out. Oh no! They're in! So now he'll retreat with his vills. He might lose one here. Yeah, he looks like he'll lose that straggler. Already the drush is paid off. Mr. Monty did not create any men-at-arms of his own. So Alonko will be pretty happy with that start. Instead, Mr. Monty's making scouts, which can be, it's tricky to deal with a drush with just scouts. So he'll look to finish this archery range up to get some defense, archer defense at home, and he'll probably counterattack with the scouts as well. We'll see what he decides to do. Yep, so Mr. Monty moving forward to counterattack with those scouts. Probably make some archers here or skirms to deal with the enemy in his base. Meanwhile, Alonko, 14 on wood now, cutting straggler trees. Making a second archery range. Interesting. Not quite the fast castle that I expected. Yep, skirms coming in. And 1 archer for Mr. Monty. As the drush is kind of slowed down a bit. Just bothering palisade walls, and likewise for Mr. Monty. The real question is how much can these scouts do? And it looks like these archers are going to clear up the men-at-arms back at home. That scout's tricky though, because he'll try to swoop in and get an archer too. Mr. Monty needs to find a better palisade to attack. There you go. 5 scouts in your eco, way more annoying than 3 men-at-arms in my opinion. Just the mobility, it can really be annoying if you keep running around and staying alive. Oh, but spearman on for defense. Nice snipe there from Alonko. That's the proper response, I'd say. Scare Mr. Monty away. So far, early pressure goes to Alonko since he sniped 1 vill. Though he's got a 3 vill lead at this point. Good defense from those villagers. Now this push with 3 without the scout is even less threatening. Just 3 men-at-arms stuck in the eco. These archers and skirmishers should clean it up. But Mr. Monty will not be too happy that he made a lot of scouts here. That's a lot of food that could have gone to going up, or gone to defense against these men-at-arms. I don't think he'll be too happy that. Good micro from Alonko too. Pull 1 back. Get some hits on that archer. But these guys have been cleaned up now. I'm either player clicking up to castle yet, though they'll probably be thinking about it shortly. Seeing how much of the relics... This is red player's view. I don't want red player's view. There we go. Blue player's view. I want to see how many relics Mr. Monty's seen. He's only seen the one so far. He'll probably look to scout out more of the map. But he's going to use these as pressure still. And now that he can move these skirms up to help defend against spearmen, he'll be in a much better place. Help with spearmen, and then also maybe snipe a vill or two that tries to repair the wall. Good job for Mr. Monty paying attention. Gonna want to keep these scouts alive as long as possible. Neither player clicking up to castle age yet, though looks like both are flirting with the idea. Having ranged units behind your attack on the wall is so helpful to keep the villagers at bay. Stable in response. More spearmen. I saw some archers too. I wonder what happened to those guys. And in the very least, that's idle time that Monty is forcing his opponent. Forcing them off of eco, off of farms. Forcing them to build palisades in response to this pressure. Oh, there's the archers! Okay. I was wondering, Mr. Monty quickly pulls his army back, and it's because there's a bunch of archers in his base. Speaking. This is a great move from Alonko, and probably why he's so high rated. That's quite a scary force. Much more effective than 3 men-at-arms, I'd say that much so. The scouts will be very helpful in cleaning this up. Mr. Monty's going to look to try to keep as many bills as he can alive in the meantime. He hasn't lost any to this archer pressure yet. It was a great quick reaction. And Alonko may consider backing out here, as Castle Age is clicked by both players. He won't want to lose his archer mass before they turn crossbow, but he's also going to want to try to get some value by killing some vills while he's in here, so looks like Mr. Monty's going to clean this up. It's a lot of good skirms and some scouts there. And these are +1, so they already have fletching. And no vills lost. Great job from Mr. Monty. He still only lost the 1 vill. Looks like Alonko lost a villager at 1.2, but not from Mr. Monty, so maybe to a boar or something. Interesting. Well, Alonko's got 3 villager lead at this point. He's got a lot on gold. He doesn't have enough stone for a castle, though. So he's not going to go Burmese. He might just go straight crossbows, which is going to be a bad choice against the Lithuanians. I'm expecting 2 stable knight production from Monty, and even a couple skirms too to back it up. I think Lithuanians have the fast-moving skirms, if I recall correctly. Feel free to correct me, Mr. and Mrs. Internet, but it's a pretty scary composition, skirms and knights. Castle Agent for both players. We'll see some secondary TCs come down too, I'd imagine. Monastery. See, this is a better defense. Monastery from both players. Already the knights coming out from the Lithuanians. Alonko knows his stuff too, so he's making knights of his own, and the monasteries are defending against the Lithuanian knights. He is also teched into crossbowmen. Husbandry coming in. Bloodline's already in for both players. And I see scale barding armor and forging coming in for Mr. Monty's knights. And this is a secondary relic that Mr. Monty has seen. Let's take a look. And he's sending his scouts out to look for more. So he sees 2 relics so far. He also sees a couple crossbowmen coming in, as he looking to now fully wall. Red just continuing to be annoying. Good micro to keep this villager alive, maybe? Not quite. That's 2 villagers killed from Alonko. There's that other town center. on the secondary gold and protecting the wood line. I like that spot. It's a good choice. And this build is basically fully protected at this point. It's got double layer walls. And now red sees all this just passing. Mr. Monty with a conversion, maybe? There it is. Oh, he'll get this one too, I think. Yep. Oh, that's a quick conversion. Suddenly it's 4-4 or 4-5 knights. And these are only +1 armor. Lithuanians already have 1 relic in the bank. So Lithuanian knights are stronger, but there are more Burmese knights on the field right now. Military is 12-13 in Alonko. Oh, great quick walls from that villager. Well done. In Alonko's favor. Manganel out on the field now too. He'll look to snipe a couple villagers and maybe some spearmen with that. Red's knights are split up at this moment too, so Mr. Monty will be happy with that. Try to pick a few off. Right now they're just weak. And let's take a look at how much of the map has been scouted in the meantime. If you take a look at what those 2 scouts were able to do down there on the minimap, they've cut a huge swath through the map. They've picked up a 3rd relic in their line of sight. So now there's a potential for 3 for Mr. Monty to get. He's already thinking of getting the furthest one, the one closest to the enemy first, knowing that this one back here is basically in the bag. And using that monk's line of sight to see the knight army coming. Second TC came in the back, and I like this spot for the secondary gold. It's a good spot for the Burmese player. Alonko having monks of his own now, looking for counter conversions, using them as a scout too, because the line of sight is just so big. No luck on that other conversion. Both monks going down, and then it's just a cavalry war. Numbers are in red's favor now. Yikes. Mr. Monty's going to want that back. And another scout, or monk, goes down. Just auto-populate, auto-set to go out over here, and instead of being garrisoned in his building, he ends up walking out and getting killed, which is unfortunate. Army 17-15 in red's favor at the moment, and most of those are in knights, so it's a stronger army than blue's, who's got, about half his army is in regular skirms, which will go down real quick to the knights, and there's even a couple scouts in the mix, so not many knights from Mr. Monty. He's going to want to look to get more of those for sure out on the field as soon as possible. But for the moment, they're stronger knights, simply because that relic is going to go down. And that other might look like it got sniped? No, it's taking a long way around. Which is good. He'll probably build a back monastery if he hasn't already to collect these 2, because he's just lost this one in the middle. It's the trouble with forward buildings. Without the military to back them up, they go down pretty quickly in early Castle Age. Not the end of the world. More stables going down for Mr. Monty in the back, massing up his knights, fixing his eco, putting that secondary monastery down, which is good. (16-14). These aren't +2 at the moment. I expect them to see. I think that's just capture age. Those were +3 knights at one point. Yeah, okay, so they're +2 because iron casting just came in. So for the moment, they're stronger knights in Lithuanian's favor. Good job on red to swoop up on that relic in the middle. So relic will have 2. Red will have 2 relics. Looks like, and Monty will have 3. Trying to find where the 5th one is though. So Monty's got 1 in his hand.
What did you hear about?
And another one over here. Oh, here we go. So red will have 3. Alonko will be really happy with that. Not only for the gold income, but also just to keep him out of the Lithuanian possession. It's going to make things a bit tougher for Mr. Monty. He's got +3 though at this point. Soon to be +4. Right there's +4. So red on 3 TCs now. No castles yet, so he will not be going for the Arambai. Looks like he's just going to stick with the knight production. Mr. Monty's going to do the same, so we're going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned cavalry charge. The villager walking out to die, or maybe just being a sacrificial lamb, I don't know. 21 to 20. 24 to 20. So there's that. That's the night mass that I expected Mr. Monty to have. It took him a little longer than he'd like to get them going, but now that they're going, they're quite a force to be reckoned with. And they could take this fight whenever they want to, having 1 more armor than the enemy and 2 more attack, though that armor, scale mail armor, is now coming in. Scale mail and pikemen coming in, so the Burmese player looking to tech into some pikemen and maybe rely on monks to convert knights. Red gets 2 there, maybe 3 conversions. But he'll lose those knights, it looks like. Mr. Monty, I think, will be okay with this fight. He's forcing red back, certainly. Well, there are quite a lot of monks on the field. I think that was Sanctity, the monk HP bonus that just got researched by Alonko. And you just look at that. Those Lithuanian attack is just so strong. Overwhelmed. And then if you look at the military, only 4 on the field right now, and they're mostly pike. Well, no. 2 monks and 4 knights. For red, 32 military, 27 knights on the field for blue. So just that extra attack from the Lithuanians is so devastating. And it could have been even more. Oh, and it's just game over. Alonko calls it. Wow, great job, Mr. Monty. Had that eco built very specifically to mass up that knight army and just pounced on the opportunity. So red did a good job to get some conversions where he could and tried to retreat. I don't think he had that pikeman tech researched in time to make a big difference, however. When it was knights on knights, it went to the Lithuanians' favor. For a while there, it was going to red's favor simply because he had the numbers, but as soon as Mr. Monty got things where he needed it to be to get the numbers up, it was GG for sure, unless those conversions and pikemen were ready, and they just weren't quite ready in red's favor. But red did a lot of good things. He expanded, he boomed really well behind the battle. There was 3 TCs to 3 TCs. He also did a great job collecting relics. He had more relics than the Lithuanians, so despite that attack bonus that the Lithuanians get it's just so deadly. It's just so deadly. And look, yeah, Mr. Monty was searching. He knew where that other relic was down here, but no dice. All right, well, that was game 1 of a potential 3 games between these 2 players in the tournament called Hera's Colosseum. Congratulations to Mr. Monty for taking game 1. This is Sneaky Chiefy, and I'll be back with game 2 between these 2 players. I hope you can join me for that.